Welcome everybody to another episode of Spooky Books and Betches. I'm Kristen, and with me I have, not to be confused with Books and Clarice. I'm Kristen, and with me I have
and Maria.
That's Erica and Maria. This is a book podcast. We swear, we spoil, we talk about sex, and we suck at it.
I don't think we're talking about sex today.
No.
No.
So
No. Shh. Silence.
Of the Lambs.
Yes, thank you. I had
maybe just add silence in instead.
What?
Shoot around, see if that works.
Are you speaking English?
Well, yeah, I have no idea what you just said.
We usually do triple S. We're on the 4S.
Oh, silence.
No sex, just silence.
Oh, good.
So that's the end of the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Yeah. This week we're doing one of Maria's favorites of all time, Silence of the Lambs, and we all read it.
Yeah, I'm very excited both of you have read it. Like, I honestly didn't, when I mentioned saying, hey, like, did you guys would want to read Silence of the Lambs? I totally expected y'all to be like, no.
Well, I saw the movie a long ass time ago, and
I don't think you can actually say that you saw it because you didn't know what the ending was.
Well, okay, so I thought that the ending, that Hannibal was the one chasing her in the end, and the book very much clarified it for me.
That it's a whole other villain.
Yeah.
But then you thought, did you read the abridged version?
Okay, so I listened to the book because I like listening to thrillers, which I'm really happy I did because it was awesome. And
Great narrator.
I think that's what I should do.
And
now.
no, it literally, it's
thrillers should be
I really
listened,
don't like thrillers
reading.
as books.
Really?
So you're gonna listen to them, so it's like a movie.
I
Oh
think
yeah,
so.
listen to them. That's the way to go.
I
By
think
the way,
that's
it was
where
on
I'm at.
Scribd,
It was
the audio
It was
version.
not on script for me, so
It's fucking right
It
here,
depends
bro.
on the person and what you're getting. So if you've gotten enough books off of Scribd recently, they'll just hide another one from you.
it's fucking bullshit.
It's stupid.
Wait,
I know.
really?
Yeah, it's its whole thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, Silence, it does not say it doesn't say abridged, although it has it says, it doesn't say abridged. See, the one that I favorited, that's the one that I listened to.
Can I see?
So I listened to Silence of the Lambs. It was only 2 hours long. So I don't know how, because you're telling me that the book is 451 pages. And it's not like I listened to it at 10x speed. I listened to it at like 1.7. So I don't know what I did wrong. But I got the whole
3 hours and 3 minutes.
This
It's abridged. It says right there.
Oh, I didn't do
Audiobook
that.
abridged.
Wow, that's nice.
They hid it in there then because
I wish I had that option.
It was amazing, dude. It was 3 hours. I did some gardening. I listened to the entire book in one sitting. And I loved it.
I wished all books had a
I
bridge.
No.
wonder what I missed. Well, there's an author note that I know is in the beginning of the book.
Yeah, which I love the author note. It's
I missed
essentially the author had been
Who's the author?
Thomas Harris.
Yes.
He had interviewed someone in a prison or a psych ward of some sort. I'm not sure the proper terminology at the time. I can't remember the whole thing at the moment. But main gist is this man he met was a doctor in this prison system, and he thought he was a regular doctor. Turns out at the end he's actually in there for murder. And the way his mannerisms was, the way he spoke to Thomas Harris inspired Hannibal Lecter, the actual character.
I always fucking thought Hannibal was real. I always thought
The
that.
way
did
he's
too,
written,
actually.
it feels like he's a real character, but he's not.
And I think we can all agree that the reason Hannibal is so amazing is because of Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
So,
killed
okay,
it.
I don't usually like thrillers as books, and I have, and this yet again proves that, like, I always think thrillers are better as movies.
Yeah.
I've always
Say
thought
it
that.
all the time.
I say it all the time. This book was a great book.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the movie is unbelievable.
The movie's amazing.
So, a great book versus
Jodie Foster,
an
dude.
amazing
No,
movie. It
In
just
this
doesn't.
case, you
Yeah.
can say anything you want. Both of them are amazing.
It's
in my
tough.
I
opinion.
really like
I
it.
love both.
It's really tough to reading it after watching it because of Anthony Hopkins and Jodie Foster,
Well, that's
right?
just who I
Because you're
pictured.
just like,
yeah, that's what I pictured from the start too.
Yeah.
so
Especially
Anthony
for a reread.
Hopkins brings a charisma
Mhm.
to Hannibal Lecter that I think that you don't necessarily get from the pages.
Okay.
And I think it's hard to differentiate that
Okay.
because you read it as Anthony
I'm
Hopkins.
so curious what his like how Anthony Hopkins even got into that character and like that. It was just,
He's a genius.
but
He's-
also
He's
there's
one
the
of
show.
the best actors of all time.
The show Hannibal.
the NBC show
Do we like
called
him?
Hannibal. I love Mads Mikkelsen. I
Yeah,
love
he's
what
good.
he brings to Hannibal as well. I think
Mads
Anthony.
Mikkelsen can fucking get it.
Also,
too.
yes. Also, his name, Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh,
what a
so
name!
good.
What
It's
a
so good.
name!
Yeah.
But I've watched both. I've rewatched the show several times now. I think it's one of the most beautiful shows ever
It's
made.
so well done. It's so pretty.
For a broadcast TV show.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a broadcast.
It's on NBC.
I watched it on Netflix, so
it's on Netflix now, but it was on NBC.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And one of the networks. It was on one of the networks. But for the way they filmed gore, the way they filmed the murders, the way they show like just the cinematography of that show alone is one of my favorite things on screen.
Pretty phenomenal. And honestly, I get so confused when it comes to Hannibal because like I like him. I'm not supposed to like him because he's a
I always love
serial
the
killer.
I always love the bad guy.
But he always helps. Like in this book, he helps
when it helps him.
How did I didn't?
Oh,
because psychology, right?
Buffalo Bill though was based off 3 serial killers.
I thought Buffalo Bill was real.
Ted Bundy.
None of these people are
Gary,
real, my love.
This
is not nonfiction. This is fiction.
Buffalo Bill was real.
Gary Heinrich. I don't know who that one is.
I was thinking like
and
Golden.
Ed Gein.
I was thinking
Ed
like
Gein makes a lot of sense to me.
So those are the 3 that they were based off of.
who the fuck is Ed Gein?
One of the most prolific serial killers of all time.
Yeah. I don't know how you don't know that
I
one.
only
Pretty
know
sure he
the
skinned his
Golden
mother
State
and, like,
Warrior.
made lamb trees out of him.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name? Golden State Warrior.
Golden State Killer?
Oh,
There was also
Warrior.
I'm thinking of the basketball
the
team.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Psycho was based off of Ed Gein too.
Okay, interesting.
Anyway.
It's interesting how serial killers influence things.
But to talk about Hannibal, the show real quick, because
Yeah.
I had you guys read Silence of the Lambs. The first book in the series is actually Red Dragon.
Oh.
But
why didn't we read that first?
Because Silence of the Lambs is the most well known, in my opinion.
It's cool you could read them out of order.
You can.
Because I feel like this was his first.
I think the first one that was made was Silence of the Lambs in film version. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong.
I don't remember there being a Red Dragon.
There is a Red Dragon.
There's a movie?
Really?
Ralph Fiennes plays the Red Dragon.
Oh.
Voldemort. He's so great.
Oh.
Yeah.
We should watch that.
It's such a good movie too.
And that's based on the book.
It's based on Red Dragon.
Let's
I
do
actually
that in the
liked
future.
Hannibal
And
too.
Hannibal, I love all of them. I love all, and this Hannibal Rising happened too. Like all of the books have been made into movies.
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
So Hannibal the show, right, is based off of Red Dragon,
Oh, I didn't know that.
where
either.
you find out how Hannibal got put in jail in the first place. Because when we come to Silence, we should do 6 seconds.
Yeah, let's do the 60 seconds.
Sorry, I'm just already
No,
diving in.
I was like really into that. I was like,
I'm
tell me
diving
more.
in already.
Okay, Maria, obviously you're doing
Obviously, I'm doing it.
it. Let me pull up the clock. If you're new to this podcast, we attempt to do this thing where we explain an entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. This week, Maria, our resident Hannibal
Fan. There you go. I thought you guys said I resident cannibal, and I was going to get very mad at you.
resident Hannibal.
Cannibal.
Maria loves some fava beans.
That's a nice Chianti.
All right, Maria, are you ready?
I don't like beans.
The entire... Okay,
Okay.
cool. She says the most out-of-pocket shit, and I love it.
I'm telling you, she
Everything
has no
that-
pockets.
Everything that comes that's true. Everything that comes out of your mouth could just be on a shirt on itself. What did you even just say? You don't like beans?
She doesn't like beans.
Imagine a shirt that just says, I don't like beans, Erica. And nobody else would get it, but it would be great. All right, here we go. The entire plot summary of The Silence of the Lambs in 60 seconds or less. Maria, on your mark,
I
get
think you could do it in a sentence.
go.
So we are following Clarice Starling. She is a trainee at the FBI Academy. The head of the behavioral science unit, Jack Crawford, asks her to go interview one of the prolific cannibals, serial killers of all time, to help with a case of Buffalo Bill, a recent serial killer. She goes, Hannibal Lecter is giving her small clues, but obviously it's only to help him. It's all a big riddle. So Clarice is trying to figure out who Buffalo Bill is, how he's choosing his victims, because he's skinning them and killing these women. And
30
throughout
seconds.
the whole thing, she's trying to search both things while still using Hannibal for his knowledge, because he's so smart. We pull through. Eventually, she figures out who Buffalo Bill is, how he's choosing his victims, thanks to the help of Hannibal Lecter.
15.
She goes into this his lair and saves the senator's daughter, who is the most recent victim.
10.
They have a whole big altercation. She shoots him dead, but at the same time, I think Hannibal escapes in the meantime
5,
because he's being
4,
transported to a different hospital
3.
by helping the senator.
2, 1. Good job. Right at 1 minute, actually.
It was a little convoluted, but you get it.
I gotta say, I can't imagine a longer version than what I read. I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about it. I was like, I got every single thing that I needed to get.
They probably
in
took
3
out
hours.
the backstory stuff.
They probably took out so much nonsense because it moves so quick. I was thinking about this too. I was like, was this really the
Is
book?
there a scene of her going to the storage unit?
No.
Okay. So
Wait, is that where the car
the car was
find
with
the head?
the head.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay.
I got that. I got most. I think I got everything I needed.
Did you go to when she goes with Jack to that other body that got found and she's doing the notes of like
The moth and shit.
yeah, or they first find the moth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got
Did
all
you
that.
see them actually going to speak to the archaeologists who know about moths and she learns
Yes.
about it?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know what I missed.
What did you miss?
You're gonna have to listen to the. I'm sorry, but
I don't
think-
want to listen. No, I want the full.
But I'm just curious. I'm
know, you're
curious
gonna
how.
have
I want to know how different it is.
Maybe Buffalo. So did you get Buffalo Bill's?
None. Nothing about Buffalo Bill besides the fact that he was killing people.
You didn't get his
And there was
perspective.
moths.
Oh.
Oh, there's a perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's Bill's perspective.
Did not get any of Bill's perspective.
What?
So there it is.
That's the creepiest part.
Damn,
Yeah,
because
that's
you're in
what-
the head
yeah,
of a
that's
serial
what-
killer.
That's what you're like.
and you don't get
building.
Hannibal's perspective, right?
No,
Okay,
you
good.
get Clarice and you
yeah,
get Bill.
I only got Clarice.
What?
I didn't know there was a Bill perspective.
No.
Oh my God, they gave you Bill's perspective.
Yes, and
was
you
it
get-
needed though?
You, but
It was
you get
creepy.
his side of when he's like getting the girl.
That's
and
actually really
Yeah,
neat.
how he
Damn.
speaks to her.
Creepy.
But this,
I'm
so,
gonna have to go back and.
as
listen
I was
the
trying
whole
to say
thing.
earlier, right before we did 6 seconds, the show Hannibal
Yeah.
is based off of Red Dragon, which is the first book in the whole series. We meet Will Graham. He is a cop who is known for going into crime scenes and being able to put himself in the shoes of a serial killer.
Yeah, the show
or
was
anyone.
so well done.
And so he's able to really like think like a killer to help catch a killer, right?
Yeah.
Through Hannibal, through Red Dragon, he is not mentally okay. He's highly empathetic,
Makes
which
sense.
makes it really hard for him to do his job. So they think the FBI, Jack Crawford, thinks it's hard for him to be in the field, so he should be able to get cleared mentally first, so he can say, "Hey, he's cleared. I can use him." Takes him to see Hannibal Lecter. That's how Hannibal first meets Will Graham,
Oh.
and Hannibal takes a liking to Will.
Right.
They feel he I don't know. It's just Hannibal. He gets obsessed with people,
Yeah.
and he is
I forgot
still
that the show,
killing
okay,
people,
yeah, yep,
right?
Yep, yep.
He's still killing people who he finds rude. That's Hannibal's thing. Hannibal does not like people who are rude, so he kills those who are rude.
I forgot the show was about Will, not about Hannibal.
Clarice, yeah.
You're right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm trying to get you to why we know where Hannibal is now.
Got
right?
it. Got it.
So they have a whole altercation. Eventually, Will realizes that Hannibal is the Chesapeake Ripper, whoever in the show it's Chesapeake Ripper, but
yes,
the bad guy of that book of Red Dragon. At the same
Yes.
time of Red Dragon, there is another killer who's doing things from like a whole other thing. But the thing, Will finds out about Hannibal. They have an altercation. It's thanks to Will that Hannibal got caught.
Okay.
Right? So now it's been like 7 or so years, and Hannibal's been in the psychiatric hospital jail.
Yeah.
And he will speak to no one. He doesn't like any reporters. He doesn't like anyone interviewing him. He's too above them. He's so pretentious.
Interesting.
But Jack
He's a
Crawford,
psychologist, right?
He was a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
yes,
psychiatrist. That's right.
So Jack Crawford, the head of the behavioral science unit, knows that the best way to sort of get Hannibal to cooperate and help with this questionnaire that he has is to send in Clarice, because she's a female
Clarice.
and a trainee.
Yep.
You know, he never actually says hello, Clarice.
He doesn't?
No, that's something Anthony Hopkins does.
Oh, in the book you mean. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
God, I love Anthony Hopkins so
He's
much.
the best.
Yeah, so Clarice, it's funny because I was picturing Jodie Foster throughout the entire book, so it's clear that movie has a chokehold over me. But she goes to the prison.
Yep.
And I thought it was crazy how all the people in the cells were like,
Yeah.
I'm coming for you or something.
It was
like,
bad.
I
And
mean-
Miggs was very inappropriate.
But, like,
Yeah.
that just doesn't translate as well as
Oh, it
it
did for
does on
me.
screen.
It did for me when I was gardening and I was kind
It's
of
tough
freaking
because
out.
you watched the film first.
I know.
Did
if
you
you-
listen though, or
No.
did you read?
She
No,
read
I
it.
read it.
See,
She
if
read
you
it.
listen to it, it's different. It adds.
narrator
I,
Like
I,
that.
I
She's
next
come to the
time
realization.
next time we do a thriller,
read it. Listen
I'm
to
going
it.
to listen to it.
I'm telling you, it adds.
And I'm gonna try to- I'm gonna try to unpack my trauma from
Your
reading,
bias.
like my biases, because I just don't like thrillers. I like thrillers.
But not in
I
book
don't
form.
like book thrillers.
I really do want to do an experiment where you listen.
I do
to a
too.
thriller because I think it'll change your mind. Because I literally remember scooping a piece of dirt and just like stopping and being like,
Right.
"Oh Jesus Christ, she's getting close to him," and like he's like, "Oh, it just you could sense the
It's
creepiness."
creepy.
if
I
the
don't know. I
narrator's
like
good.
I want it produced more though.
I want
want
a
like
graphic
a-
audio. I want
Yeah.
That'd be
a
sick.
full graphic audio thing.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
That's my thing right now. I really want audiobooks to have more production behind them.
Same.
I don't know how much
Yeah,
that would
'cause
cost someone to do.
Fuck it. Let's just make audiobooks
Let's
even
just
more
do it.
expensive.
Right?
70
Audible needs more.
Fuck it.
$70 for an audio.
We need another streaming service, and we need it to be $25 a month.
Here's the thing, though. Audiobooks are already fucking $20, and it's not the same level as a movie, so you might as well fucking produce it. Like, I go see a movie for $20, and I'm getting more. I'm just saying.
It's a different thing.
You're right. So when she
I
goes
get
in
that.
and sees him, so I'm missing Bill's perspective.
Which is what happens in Red Dragon too. Red Dragon also has both perspectives. It has Will's perspective,
Yep.
how he's trying to find this killer, and it has the killer's perspective.
So is that in every book? Is it kind of like that?
I haven't read again Hannibal to really
Yeah.
because Hannibal now, the next one is after
he escaped.
He's escaped.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different
Was there
vibe.
anything that you don't like about this book?
I think obviously not all parts age well.
Yeah.
It's written in 1988.
That's a really good point.
There's problematic things.
I think the gender side of things was tough, and probably why I gave it 4 stars
Yeah.
instead of 5. And I have to recognize that this was written, in the 90s?
88.
88. Things were a lot different, but I think pinning his, so obviously
Our main
he's transgender, even though they try to say that he's not, which is, like, a weird thing in itself. And there's, like,
Well, trans wasn't like a thing.
yeah.
Well, the way
it
they
was a
explained
thing,
it
but
was
wasn't, in society, it wasn't recognized. The
It
same
was
way
like,
it is
no,
now.
but they called him like trans,
the
like,
bad one.
the bad one.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was you
That was
weren't
kind of
like
hard to, like, listen to and read. So that was kind of like, oh, they're making him the villain.
But
and, like,
I don't know where I stand on this because I think it's really important to understand what the cultural climate was when something's written, produced, done
Sure.
in general, because it's like that's going to color what happens.
yeah.
And
I'm not-
then
yes,
there
go
there is a point where some people say, well, harm can still be done
Sure.
because it still like exists, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, the cultural significance of it far reaches beyond sometimes, right?
Yep.
And then it's like, well, do we go back and edit that and fix that?
I don't think you
Or
can.
do we let it live and
But
understand that
recognize
like
what it
Yeah.
did
that this
and
was
how-
not
True.
okay?
Yes, 100%.
You know what I mean? So
I-
it's like this weird line of like, I don't think we should be going back to books 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I know this was
This
like
is way
30 years
more.
ago.
I totally
But I'm
agree.
even like I'm giving it the 10-year. Mine's 10 years. I don't think we should go back farther than 10 years
Yeah, I
and
agree.
fix things.
I
Sure.
agree.
I think we need to just accept that like
Yeah.
shit was not great.
Yep. It's
People
part
are
of
ignorant.
history. It's,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's literally part of our history, and you can read how progressive we've become.
But I
through
will
books.
say there was a character in this book. He was a doctor
Mhm.
at the hospital that performed sex change operations, right? And the point was they were trying to find Buffalo Bill. Buffalo Bill is considered himself that he's trans when they say he's not, because he had gone to a certain facility to get the surgery done,
Mhm.
right? And they do a test there, and that some people fail the test for whatever reason it was.
So yeah, to me that was the wildest.
It was,
part.
but the time, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I appreciate that the doctor himself
Mhm.
was very against giving any names
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
because he felt like you're trying to make them a villain.
Yeah.
Whoever don't you make
So yeah,
That's a
like
good
trans
point.
it
people
almost
villains.
That's a
it
good point.
almost was
Yeah,
like combating it in the like in a weird way.
yeah.
Not, I don't think it was in a weird way. I think it was just a way you had a character who would be what we are today. It's like, how dare you make
yeah.
just because they're trans, they're automatically a villain.
Well, it was
that
there
is
was a
incorrect.
I think it was toting the line because at the same time the doctor was like, "Well, he's not trans," or like, "They're not trans."
because we did a test and he didn't
and
come out.
To me, like that's a problem,
Right.
But for that doctor also to be like, but also these are not like they're not villains. Like I
Right.
thought that was
But
good.
then
so
it
it was
I don't
fun.
want you to turn this into now
Exactly.
everybody's going to be against people who need this.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you get the overarching question of should we be writing any type of minority as villains?
Well, not being a villain, but that being the reason that they're the villain. That's the difference. Like if you're a villain because you're transgender, that's a problem.
Or part of the
but if you happen to
part
be
of their
transgender and you're a
villainhood-
villain, that's different.
part of their villainhood
Is that
is
that's
that
weird to me? Like that makes no sense to
Yeah.
me. It's the same as women. If you write a woman villain and I'm literally killing all men just because I hate them because I'm a woman, to me that's weird, and that shouldn't be the only reason. Like there should be a backstory. There should be more to it. So I think that there's
there's two
There's a
prongs.
line.
yeah, there's a prongs. But
There's a
either
line.
way, like that was the only thing. And then you remind yourself it was written in '88. Okay, it
That's
is what
how
it
I
is.
went about it. Like
Yeah.
when I read
But
it
if
as
you
a
had
kid.
to choose one thing you didn't like, maybe
That's
would
what I
be it.
chose.
Yeah,
That's what I
I
chose.
don't think that
That's
I
fair.
like I don't I like I think that makes sense for that time though.
Totally.
I went into this book rereading it expecting to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Right? I expected to see problematic issues because of the time it was written. And when I read it, I felt like, okay, that's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel, and I'm not part of the community, so I my opinion doesn't matter on it.
Right.
If someone feels hurt by it, they
Yeah.
are in their right. They're allowed.
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed this book because I felt like it wasn't what I thought it was going to be rereading it. I fully expected it to be a hard time.
So wait, just tell me more about Bill's perspective. Since I didn't get Bill's perspective.
Erica's had a bad cough for a while. She's fine, but it's just a bad cough.
Yeah, tell me.
I had an 8-week-long cough. So.
Aw.
About Buffalo Bill. So Bill, his MO
So you see him killing people?
in the book,
Yeah.
you see him choosing,
You see him choosing.
So the only one we find is the senator's
And in
daughter.
the movie, and in the
Yeah.
movie too.
In the movie, you see it too.
Well,
but
I
Yeah.
get that in the book. I get in the book. It's not.
You flip back
you feel
in the
back and
movie
forth.
too.
Well,
It's like when
It's
I say
page
it's
for
a,
page.
when
No,
I
no, no,
say
no.
it's a true likeness, it is a true likeness.
But it's weird in the abridged version because it's
Well,
Clarice
of course, it
Duh.
the entire time, and then yes, there is a moment where it suddenly switches perspectives, but it's not Bill's perspective; it's the senator daughter.
The senator's daughter.
Is that how it is in the normal?
Yeah.
her perspective. Okay,
Not
so,
her perspective.
Oh no,
she
we
has
get-
her moment.
So I get her.
This is
perspective.
all third person. So we
Oh,
just
yeah,
dip
yeah,
in.
You're right. You're right.
You're
We
going
dip in.
to
What I mean is
Bill's-
like her perspective in third person.
Welcome
Yes.
to Bill's
We
house.
leave Clarice for the first time in the abridged version, and we get the senator's daughter.
Turn that music so.
Stop
so
it.
Ted Levine is the guy who plays Bill in
Yep.
in the
Movie.
original Silence of the Lambs, and
I don't
his
remember that character at all.
so his like dance scene he
He's
improv.
constantly referenced the "Would you fuck me? I'd fuck me."
no, I meant in the
Yeah.
movie. I just don't remember.
Yeah, that's his iconic line.
I probably blacked it out.
I think he
you were a
I think-
child. You should not have been
Skeeter,
watching
I think
it.
he
Meanwhile, me as a child. Whoa.
improv that whole thing, and then also I guess he had to take a couple shots
I
of
would
alcohol.
too. I would too to get into
Before
that
that, too.
mindset.
Yeah, imagine them
Um,
getting into that mindset.
but-
They definitely read the books, I imagine.
Another cool tidbit about Silence of the Lambs is they are one of 3 movies to win the Big 5
Oscar.
at the Oscars.
Wow. Thrillers don't usually.
That's
No,
why. Yeah.
it's
That's
very.
it's
Oh,
iconic.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest,
Did Jodie Foster help
and
produce
I
or
forget
direct
what
that?
the other one.
I don't believe
I
so.
don't know if she was even a director yet. at
I don't
that
believe so.
time.
'cause they
It
changed it
happened
for-
one night, which is like a 30s movie.
It changed it after Julianne Moore becomes
Oh, really?
yeah, she becomes Clarice Starling in the Hannibal film. I don't know
Oh.
why
So-
she didn't come back.
I
For
don't
everyone
know.
who doesn't know what the Big 5 is, it's Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Actress, Director, and Screenplay.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's so good.
So as far as the story goes, yeah, when Buffalo Bill kidnaps the senator's daughter.
Yeah. He likes to
That
pick
whole thing
kidnap
is
plus size women
Yeah.
because their
Oh, I do get his point of view.
their skin is
Yes.
meant to be stretchier to fit him. He's a big
Yeah.
man. And so that's he like even like the dialogue in the film and the book are the same. Like when he
Yeah.
first gets her into the, which honestly I would never do this, but like
I
the
was gonna
senator's daughter she was with her boyfriend, which is the one thing that's different in the movie. Her boyfriend never existed in the movie.
Yeah.
So she's going to her apartment real quick to, I think, feed her cat or something.
Yeah.
But she sees Buffalo Bill struggling to put a couch in the back of a van.
Of a stereotypical.
stereotypical kidnapper van.
Yeah.
And he has like a cast on. He's like struggling.
Oh my
and he's
God.
like, she's
Genius.
like,
Again, the 80s.
no. Did you need some help with that or whatever? And then he's telling her basically, yeah, help me out. So she's holding this couch up. And he's like, get in the truck and pull it in from inside.
My
and I was
God.
like, absolutely the fuck not.
Never.
So she gets in there. He beats the crap out of her in the
Yep.
back of it. And the way it was written, I was so uncomfy for her. I'm like, oh my God, this poor girl. And he like cuts open the back of her shirt and just goes, good.
Fuck, it's so weird when you say it like that.
And he does it in the movie too. He
I
just goes,
forgot. I think
"Good."
I mentally noted that too. I was like, good. Like he said it a couple times.
Yeah,
and it
he
was
just kept saying
really,
good.
Yeah, it was really fucking weird.
creepy.
I actually did get his perspective when he was going down in the basement. He has a dog that he
Yep,
like loves.
Precious.
I'm like, that's so weird. Like they're so close with like an animal,
Ugh.
but they can't have any empathy for a
Yeah.
human. But he was like sewing and all this shit, and then Clarice had
Yeah,
showed
sewing
up.
skin.
I love that fucking Clarice goes right to the source, says, fuck it, I'm going to...
Well, she didn't know she was going to the source.
She had an idea.
She had an idea that house that she was
Didn't
going
ask
towards.
for backup.
No, because she wasn't
told
allowed.
They told her not to go, and
Yeah,
she
just
said,
said, "Fuck
Maria,
it."
you would
That
do
would
that.
be me.
So another one of the like slight differences I found at least was Clarice a little bit. I think she was
Better in the movie.
I think she made more mistakes in the book. And
Yeah,
wasn't
because she's
as-
a trainee. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a little less. So I read that Jodie Foster was concerned that the movie would make the FBI look bad.
Oh,
What?
So she
So kind of her.
So she
Why
kind
does
of
she give a
made.
fuck about the FBI?
I mean, the idea of the FBI just sending a trainee in any capacity
a
is
good
kind of
point.
like.
I guess she
So
made it more realistic
she
in a
kind
way.
of was a little bit cooler and better in the movie than
Yeah.
the books, which I thought was like made sense to me as to why. Other people that were considered for Hannibal Lecter, Sean Connery.
Oh my god, that would have been
No.
real weird.
He read the script and hated it.
Good. I don't
Wow.
want him as Hannibal
Um,
anyway.
Shit.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
No,
one, too.
no. He's
Only Anthony.
is he Abraham Lincoln?
Yes.
Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he fits that.
Is he
role
Abraham
good.
Lincoln?
He fits those roles a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's more of like an epic kind of
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, Anthony Hopkins was like, to me, that's one of the roles that I just like. I can't separate the two.
It's so good. I love it. I'm
know what
so
I
happy
mean?
you had
Yeah,
us
no.
read this.
Yeah,
Like
I'm so
they're-
happy you read it.
How did it end? So Hannibal
So she
escaped.
finds out. So she figures. So there have been 5 bodies from Buffalo Bill who have been found. There's like one, the senator's daughter, who's been taken.
Yeah.
Right. Clarice figures out that the second body that was found was actually the first body, but it was better hidden because it was too close to his home.
Oh, that's
So
right. Yeah.
she figures out like all this the little connections because he knew her kind of thing. So he gets her to this house of a tailor or a seamstress, I believe it is.
Yeah.
That Buffalo Bill had worked with
That's
at some
right.
point.
That's
And so
right.
now Buffalo Bill is living in that house. And the basement is like this lair.
Layers.
And the
It's
big
like
ass
a-
pit in the
I
bottom.
remember
yeah,
it
there's
being
a
like
pit.
kind of like a maze in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a maze. Yeah. It's like
yeah.
it's very intricate down there, and she, the senator's daughter is in the bottom of this pit. At this point, she has convinced little Precious, the poodle, to fall into the pit, and she's
Dog's
holding
down
the
there,
dog against Bill, being like, "She's real hurt, Mister. If you don't save her now, her leg's real bad." And he's like, "You give me my Precious."
my precious.
The whole it puts lotion on his skin or it gets the hose again. Like
my
there's
God,
so
the
many
lotion.
lines from this movie that are constantly
Yep.
referenced.
I
But
mean, they're cultural
Wait, is
landmarks.
put the lotion in the basket?
it's from this.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's their
'Cause she's
cultural
like, "Please
landmarks.
get me." He goes, "Put the lotion in the fucking basket."
Put the lotion. Yeah. Okay. Go
There
on.
are so many lines that
Yeah.
permeate through like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it transcends time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so at this point, Clarice shows up. And in the movie, they do it really well because they're showing it as if Jack Crawford and his team are on their way to who they think is actually Buffalo Bill.
Right.
But it's not. It's like
Right.
how
I
in the
forgot
end
about
of
that, yeah.
Black Phone.
Yes, I've thought about Black Phone a
Spoiler for
lot.
Black Phone. The end of Black Phone, him trying to go to a house, but it turns out it's the wrong house.
I
across
thought
the
of
street.
Black
That's-
Phone
that's that,
so
yeah.
much.
Same vibe.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
The
Clarice,
van.
Yeah.
yeah, because this is such a cultural staple that everyone pulls from it.
Clarice ends up at Buffalo Bill's house.
Yes.
And she sees there are some clues that she figures out in the moment of like,
And then it's this whole fucking thing.
and she's
Yeah.
like, "Can I just use your phone?" And so he's realizing that she knows, so he's trying to get her. At this point, they get down to the basement. He shuts off the lights in the movie at least, and there's like a whole. He has a
vision goggles. That shit
and
was
it's all
crazy.
dark.
Night vision goggles.
Yeah. So she helps save the girl. Then they have a whole like fight. She shoots
Oh, she
him.
did kill him, right?
She shoots him dead.
That's
yeah,
right.
because he comes after her.
Yeah.
And
And wasn't he wearing half of the? Like he had the suit,
the skin on? I don't know if he did. I think he
or
was
at
working
least
on
hair or something.
Because he would need her skin. Her
Yeah,
skin was
yeah.
one of the last ones, but he hadn't killed her yet.
But he scalped some girls and like was
Yeah, he had skin of theirs already
fucking
ready.
crazy.
But
she wins in the end.
Yeah, Clarice
the-
wins in the end.
She gets
and
a note from Hannibal.
So in the midst of all this, Hannibal is has been asked information about Buffalo Bill, about the case file from Clarice, sort of in a way of like, "Can you help me out? I'll help you out. We'll give you." He's like, "Well, I want to be somewhere with a view. I want to see
That's right. Yeah.
the trees and all that stuff." And the
Mayor.
not the mayor, the owner or the head of
Or-
the jail where Hannibal
Oh
is,
yeah.
Chilton. He's the worst. He's
I hate that guy.
Anyway, he tries to make it seem as if he knows everything, and he's using Hannibal to get himself more notoriety. So they meet with the senator. Hannibal is like, if you give me a transfer to a less security prison where I can see a view and stuff, I will tell you where she is, because I know where she is. I know who Buffalo Bill is, because he did from the start. He knew, because he had actually like treated him at one point, and like, which is such a coincidence.
Basically Hannibal escapes, but he writes her a letter.
But the way he escapes is so good.
I don't think they say it in the abridged version.
You didn't see the whole cage where he could get
No.
the two.
I just know that he escaped.
So in the midst of all this, right, Hannibal's being transported to a new
I did
prison,
see this.
but
I
he's
forgot about
put
the ambulance.
in the city hall in this big ass cage with only 2 guards, and he doesn't eat them.
Yeah.
He destroys one guy's face so bad that he rips off his face, puts it on his own face, takes
That's
the
right.
freaking uniform, pretends
Genius.
pretends he's the injured cop, but they take him in the ambulance, and that's how he escapes.
And then he kills the ambulance people. Yeah, and then he escapes. But he does write Clarice a letter that essentially at the end says, I will never come for you.
Yeah, like, you're good, buddy.
Which is awesome. Imagine being Clarice and just being like, shit.
She didn't disrespect him. She respected his mind. She just didn't.
And this
use
is why I
him for
like
what he was.
Hannibal. I'm so conflicted.
He's a
Wait, I have some-
gentleman.
Is he
I have-
capable of love?
No, I have some fun
I think
facts.
he loves Clarice.
Me too.
My demented side thinks he loves Clarice.
And I want them to be together.
So Hopkins is only in the film for 16 minutes and won a Best Actor.
Are you
Which
serious?
is crazy. So
Wow.
it's the second
like
shortest screen time
That's amazing.
to win Best Actor. And then the film actually ended Hopkins' real life relationship at the time
Why?
with Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart.
dating-
He dated Martha Stewart.
He was dating Martha Stewart,
Bitch, what?
and she dumped him shortly after the release because all she could see was him being a cold-blooded serial killer.
Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe he acted like that in the bedroom. He came home and he was like,
Meanwhile, Martha's just like trying to smoke a J.
another thing, which like I kind of get this. So if you've ever taken an acting class, or an on-screen acting class, one of the things that is an instant, like you get trained on like your facial mannerisms and stuff.
Yeah.
And blinking is something that naturally de-strengthens, weakens a character.
Yeah. That's why
Blinking-
Wednesday didn't blink once.
that
Yes.
was crazy.
So he specifically did not blink at all in any of his scenes. There's a couple of moments where he does blink, and he does it in a weird moment to do on purpose.
Does he do a slow blink like to a cat?
I think so.
I was gonna say it's a cat.
So that was actually like very
I
specific.
think when he kills the guards, he has his music playing and it gets really loud, and he's just like doing like this with blood all over him.
Oh my god, I love that.
Psychotic.
That gives me the show vibes too when it's just
love
like
the
the way
show.
it's edited. It's
The
crazy.
show is so beautiful.
And yeah, like I said, Ted Levine's dance was like his own
His
idea.
own thing.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch the movie.
I want to rewatch it again.
I kind of wish I had time and I did that.
So what I
because-
was doing was I had rewatched all of season 1 of Hannibal the show, and then I watched Red Dragon. Actually, no, I read Red Dragon, watched the movie Red Dragon, and watched Hannibal the first season of. The
See,
show.
we were watching the first season of Hannibal, and I got to like I started to mentally not feel good. So I don't know how you did all that.
It's so beautifully edited.
I know, but I start to get like
It's fucked up.
like psychically. I don't know how the word that I'm looking for, but I like have to
because
take breaks
Will
from
goes
shit
through
like that.
such a mental
Yes.
strain because Hannibal is messing him up the entire season.
I have to take breaks, man. I'm
It's
like,
such a so. Side note, I told Kristen this story, but I went to a work event a couple months ago, and I was like acting and mingling and talking to people. I met this one girl, and I saw her tattoos, and I just don't know why I was like, those tattoos are interesting. I asked, she goes, oh, they're from a show, you wouldn't know. And I was like, I think tell me. And it was from Hannibal the show. It was the antlers and the fishing hook that represent Hannibal and Will.
that's crazy.
And I go, you have no idea what you just did. Because I have never seen anyone else love this show as much as I love this show.
It's pretty
And
amazing.
she's like, it's one of my favorites of all time. I'm like, we're best friends right now. Like, no one else loves this. Like, I love this.
Oh,
So
that's
it was just a
awesome.
fun time and
amazing.
moment.
Damn. Well, Silence of the Lambs. I'm really happy you had us read this.
So now
Maria.
I'm on to, I have to finish, I want to read Hannibal.
yeah,
And then I want to read Hannibal
Honestly,
Rising.
okay, so
would.
if you have never watched Silence of the Lambs,
Yeah.
read this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read this book.
It's the same thing.
Read the book and then watch the
Read
movie.
the book and then watch the movie.
You can see how
And
it
then
translates.
tell us-
Yeah.
Tell us if you imagine
you
someone
agree.
else as Anthony Hopkins.
Because I think Anthony Hopkins changes your perspective.
Anthony
on this
Hopkins,
book.
I think, is the
I
sole
also
reason
think-
why Hannibal is who he is.
But I also think it's the best translated between
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it is a copy paste job.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us this week. We're gonna continue on the spooky vibes.
Thank you guys for
until
reading it.
next week. So,
This was so fun.
yeah, thank you for being.
Sorry if I'm all over the place, but I got excited.
No, I love it. Everybody go follow us on Instagram if you want. That's books_and_Betches, BETCHES. Follow us on YouTube. You could subscribe, hit the little bell if you want to. We don't care if you don't.
Yep.
I mean, we care. We care about you.
We care about you, but
But
whatever
if you
else
don't
you
want
do.
to, that's
It's
fine.
fine. It's fine.
We love you so much. Thanks for being on this journey, and we'll catch you in the next one.